Scylla sat in the cold control room of her broken ship. Her hands trembled as she touched the edge of the cracked screen. The stars outside were quiet, cold, and empty. Beside her, her daughter Lyra slept in a tight ball, wrapped in a thin silver blanket. Scylla watched her breathe, slow and peaceful. That was the only comfort she had left. Her ship had once been part of a proud fleet. Now it was just a floating shell, without power, without heat. Most systems were offline. The engines were dead. The food supplies were almost gone. The emergency beacon blinked weakly, its signal reaching out into space like a whisper. Scylla had sent out dozens of distress calls. No one answered. Maybe no one cared. Maybe no one was left. She looked down at her arm. A burn mark stretched across her skin. She winced and pulled the torn sleeve over it. It reminded her of the attack, of the fire, of the screams, of how they had escaped in the last shuttle while their home burned behind them. Lyra stirred and opened her eyes. She was only 6, with bright silver hair and large eyes that always looked too tired for her age. "Mama, are we going to be okay?" Lyra asked. Scylla smiled the way only mothers do when hiding fear. "Yes, my star, we will be okay." Lyra nodded and closed her eyes again. Scylla waited until she slept before turning back to the panel. One small light blinked. The beacon was still working, but not for long. The power cell was running out. She pressed her hand against the screen and whispered a quiet prayer in her native tongue. It had no words, only feelings. Then she waited. And hope died far away. Beyond the broken rocks of the asteroid field, a small human repair ship moved through space. The man inside was humming to himself, adjusting tools, fixing the power conduit. His name was Aaron Blake, and he had been working alone for months. He liked the silence. Machines didn't argue or lie. Then his ship beeped. A faint signal had reached his scanner. Aaron blinked and sat up. The coordinates were odd, very far, near the edge of the system. He turned the dial and listened. The signal was weak, but steady. "That's a distress beacon," he said aloud. He wasn't talking to anyone, just himself, and an old one. Not a human. Signature. He hesitated. He had a schedule to follow, but he also knew what it meant to be stuck out there alone. He leaned back in his chair and sighed. "Fine," he said. "I'm going." His ship turned slowly and headed for the signal. Back on Scylla's ship, time moved slowly. The lights were dim. The air was cold. Lyra was awake again, and Scylla gave her the last bit of food paste. Lyra ate quietly, then leaned against her mother. "Tell me a story," she whispered. Syl thought for a moment. She spoke softly. "Long ago, there was a little bird who got lost in the stars. She had small wings, but she was brave. She flew and flew, even when the wind was gone, even when the night was long. And one day, she found a sun that smiled at her, and the sun gave her warmth." Lyra smiled. "Will we find a sun?" Scylla kissed her forehead. "I think we will." The ship shook. Just a little. But it was real. Scylla jumped to her feet and ran to the panel. Another ship was approaching. Her hands moved fast, checking the scanner. Human tech. Old model. She didn't know whether to be scared or hopeful. Outside, Aaron's ship locked onto the drifting vessel. He suited up and moved through the airlock, carrying a light and a med kit. He entered carefully. The inside was dark and cold. Then he saw her. A tall figure, thin but proud, stood between him and a small girl. Her body was shaking, but her eyes were strong. "I mean no harm," Aaron said, raising his hands. "I picked up your signal. You need help." Scylla didn't speak. Her eyes flicked to her daughter, then back to him. "Please," he said, "let me help." Silence hung between them. Then Scylla stepped back and nodded once. Aaron moved forward slowly. He looked at the girl, then at Scylla. He could see they were both on the edge. "Let's get you warm," he said. And for the first time in a long time, Scylla felt the smallest flicker of hope. Aaron helped Scylla and Lyra into his ship. The hallway was narrow and full of tools, wires, and boxes. It was not clean, but it was warm. Lyra held her mother's hand tightly, eyes wide as she looked around. Aaron pointed to a small room on the right. You can rest here, he said. It's not much, but it's safe. Scylla nodded once. She said nothing. Her face was calm, but her body stayed close to Lyra. Aaron could see the fear under her stillness. He stepped away to give them space. Inside the room, there were 2 bunks, a light blanket, and a small screen on the wall. Lyra sat on the lower bed. She touched the blanket like it was something rare. "Mama, this is soft," she whispered. Scylla sat beside her, still watching the door. She was trying to understand this man. He had not asked questions. He had not pointed. Weapons. He had brought them food and water. He had offered warmth. But Scylla had seen kindness before that turned to cruelty. She would not trust so easily. In the control room, Aaron looked at the charts. They were still far from the nearest human outpost, maybe 5 days at slow speed. He looked at the power levels and fuel. It would be enough, but barely. He scratched his beard and sighed. He poured a drink from a metal bottle and took a small sip. Then he heard soft steps. Lyra stood in the doorway, looking at him. "Are you a space knight?" She asked. Aaron blinked, surprised. Then he laughed. "No, not at all," he said. "Just a repairman, fixing old ships." Lyra stepped inside, small feet padding over the metal floor. She looked around the room. "Your ship smells funny." "That's the engine grease," he said. "It sticks to everything." She looked at him for a long moment. "Thank you for saving us." Aaron smiled. "You're welcome." Scylla appeared behind her daughter. Her face was unreadable, but she gave a small nod. Aaron stood up and walked to the table. "I have food. It's simple. Dried fruit, protein bars, some soup. Do you eat human food?" "We can try," Scylla said softly. Her voice was calm, slow. They sat at the table. Aaron passed out food carefully. Lyra ate fast. Scylla ate slowly, watching each bite her daughter took. "You're not from the Empire, are you?" Aaron asked. "No," Scylla said. "We ran. From what? From fire. From people who wanted us gone." Aaron didn't push. He saw the pain in her eyes. "Well," he said, "you're safe here. As long as I'm flying, no one will hurt you." Lyra looked up. "Can we stay with you?" Aaron looked at Scylla. Her face was still, but her hand rested over her daughter's. "For now, yes," he said. "You can stay until we reach the station." Scylla nodded. That was enough. Later that night, Lyra slept soundly in the small room. Scylla stood near the door, arms crossed, watching Aaron as he fixed the panel. "You are alone," she said. "Yeah," Aaron replied. "Been that way a while. Easier that way. You don't fear us. Should I?" Scylla thought for a moment. "We are different. Different doesn't mean bad. I've met humans who are worse than monsters. Doesn't mean all humans are bad." Scylla looked down. "You are kind," Aaron shrugged. "I try." She stepped closer. "If you help us." "They may come. The ones who chased us." Aaron looked at her. "Let them come. I've dealt with worse." Scylla looked into his eyes. There was no fear there, only a quiet strength. She didn't know if she could trust him yet, but for the first time in many cycles, she didn't feel alone. "Thank you," she said. Aaron nodded. "Get some sleep. Big day tomorrow. We need to move through the asteroid belt. It gets rough out there." Scylla turned and walked back to the room. She paused at the door. "Good night, Aaron Blake." "Good night, Scylla." The ship drifted forward into the quiet dark, and somewhere deep inside, a bond had begun to form. The next morning, Aaron checked the engine room. Pipes rattled and the lights flickered. He tightened a few bolts and tapped the screen. Everything was holding, for now. They had to pass through the asteroid field before they reached open space. Scylla joined him, quiet as always. Her silver hair was pulled back, and her eyes watched every move. Will it work? She asked. It better, Aaron said. Once we start, there's no turning back. We go through or we get stuck. Scylla nodded. She didn't ask more. Aaron liked that about her. She listened, she watched, but she didn't waste words. Lyra entered the room, still half asleep. She rubbed her eyes and yawned. I had a dream, she said. What about? Aaron asked, smiling. A big bird with golden wings. It flew over our ship and kept us safe. Aaron chuckled. Sounds like a good dream. We could use that bird today. The ship moved closer to the asteroid field. Rocks floated everywhere, some small, some the size of buildings. They spun slowly, like dancers in space. Aaron sat at the controls, hands steady. Hold on, he said. This part gets tricky. Scylla stood behind him with Lyra. She rested one hand on the girl's shoulder. The other gripped a metal rail tightly. The ship slid between the first group of rocks. Alarms beeped. A sharp turn. A sudden drop. Aaron moved the ship like it was part of him. A large rock spun too fast. It clipped the back panel. The ship shook. We're okay, Aaron said. Just a scratch. Scylla didn't speak, but her body was tense. They made it halfway. Then the scanner blinked. Another ship was nearby. Aaron checked the screen. We've got company, he said. And they're not friendly. The new ship was dark and sharp, a hunter-class vessel. Not human. Not safe. Scylla stared at the screen. Her voice was cold. They followed us. Aaron turned the ship hard to the left. The engines roared. The hunter ship chased them, firing warning shots. The blast lit up the rocks. They want to disable us, Aaron said. Not destroy. Yet. Lyra held Scylla tight. Mama, I'm scared. Scylla knelt down. Stay close to me. Do not let go. Aaron moved fast. He dove between two spinning rocks, then boosted forward. The hunter followed. The path was too tight for a normal ship. Aaron grinned. Let's see if you can fly like I do. He flipped the switch. The ship spun sideways, sliding through a narrow gap. The hunter tried the same move, but hit a rock and spun out of control. Got you, Aaron whispered, but the hunter recovered. It fired again. A blast hit their back engine. The ship lurched. Engine 3 is gone, Aaron said. We're losing speed. Scylla looked at the scanner. There's a tunnel ahead. In the rocks. If we hide, maybe they lose us. Aaron nodded. He aimed for the tunnel. The ship slid inside. Darkness wrapped around them. The hunter passed by, not seeing where they went. They floated in silence. Lyra cried softly. Scylla held her close. Aaron leaned back inside. That was close. Scylla looked at him. Why did you do it? You could have left us. Aaron shook his head. Not my way. If someone needs help, I help. Doesn't matter who. Scylla sat down across from him. Her face had changed. Less hard, more tired. My people don't believe that. They say humans only help themselves. Maybe some, Aaron said. But not all. Scylla looked down at Lyra, now sleeping in her arms. She deserves better. A place to grow. A life without fear. Aaron nodded. We'll get her there. One way or another. Hours passed. The ship stayed hidden in the tunnel. Aaron worked to fix what he could. Scylla brought him tools, silent and careful. He looked at her. You were someone important once, weren't you? I was an aide to the Royal Council. I spoke for those who had no voice. And they turned on you? Yes. Aaron didn't ask more. He understood enough. Finally, the ship moved again. The path ahead was clear. They left the asteroid field and entered quiet space. The stars were bright and calm. Aaron smiled. We made it. Scylla looked out the window. This part of space, it feels different. It is, Aaron said. It's human space. You're safe here. Scylla didn't answer. But for the first time, she closed her eyes and rested. And beside her, Lyra dreamed of birds with golden wings. The stars outside were quiet again. Aaron's ship moved through open space. The damage from the chase was still bad, but the ship was holding together. He worked for hours, checking every panel, every wire. Scylla helped without speaking much. She handed him tools, followed his gestures, and kept Lyra safe. Lyra sat near the window, watching stars like they were tiny lights in the dark. She hummed a song from her home. It was soft and strange, but peaceful. Aaron looked over. "What's that song?" "My mama sings it when I'm scared," Lyra said. "She says it's about a moon that never gives up." Aaron smiled. "Sounds like a strong moon." Lyra nodded. Syla was quiet for a long time, then spoke. "The song is old, from my mother. She taught it to me before the war." Aaron looked at her. "You never talk much about your past." "There is not much left to talk about," she said. "Still," Aaron sighed, "sometimes sharing helps." Scylla looked down. "I tried to stop what was coming. I warned them. The leaders didn't listen. They said I was weak, a traitor. They burned the cities. Killed the voices. I ran with Lyra. That's all that matters now." Aaron listened in silence. He didn't ask for more. He knew pain when he heard it. The ship beeped. A new warning. That can't be right, Aaron said. He pressed a few buttons. "What is it?" Scylla asked. "Radiation storm ahead. Big one. We need to land a shield fast." He checked the nearby systems. "There's a small moon not far. Looks dead, but it might give us cover." He turned the ship toward the moon. It was gray, rocky, with deep cracks. No life, no buildings. Just stone. And dust. The ship landed roughly. Dust flew around them. Inside, lights flickered. "We need to wait out the storm here," Aaron said. "Could be a few hours." He opened the hatch and stepped out. Scylla followed, holding Lyra close. The air outside was dry and sharp. The ground was cold. They walked a short distance and found a small cave. It was deep enough to block the storm. Aaron started a heater and placed it in the center. They all sat close to it. Lyra leaned on Scylla and soon fell asleep. Aaron looked at Scylla. Her face was soft in the warm light. "You're strong. You keep going, even when things fall apart." Scylla shook her head. "I don't feel strong. I feel tired." "That's how you know you're strong," Aaron said. "You keep moving even when you want to stop." Scylla looked at him, surprised by the words. "Why are you really helping us?" "Not just because you're kind. There's more." Aaron looked into the firelight. "I lost someone a long time ago. She was kind like Lyra, brave, like you. I couldn't save her, but I can help you. Maybe that makes a difference." Scylla didn't speak, but she placed her hand near his. It didn't touch, but it was close. For her, that meant trust. The storm passed after hours. They returned to the ship. The air cleared. Systems were stable. As they lifted off, Scylla stood beside him. "What happens when we reach the station?" she asked. "I get you safe," Aaron said. "There are refugee laws. You can apply for a place, a new home. And then you go?" Aaron paused. "If that's what you want." Scylla looked at him for a long time. "I don't know what I want. I only know I don't want Lyra to be alone." "She won't be," Aaron said. "Not while I'm around." Later that night, they sat in the dining area. Aaron shared his last piece of chocolate with Lyra. She took a bite and her eyes lit up. "This is amazing," she said. Scylla tried a small piece too. She smiled, just a little. "Earth food is strange, but good," Aaron said. "Yes," Scylla said softly. The ship flew on, past empty planets and fading stars. And for the first time, Scylla started to believe that maybe, just maybe, they were flying towards something better. The ship drifted into quiet space, far from any star. It was dark outside, with only the soft lights from the control panels to guide them. Aaron checked the systems. The damage was still there, but the ship was flying steady. In the small kitchen area, Scylla and Lyra sat at the table. Scylla was brushing Lyra's hair, slow and gentle. Lyra hummed the soft tune. Aaron walked in and smiled. "That song again?" Lyra nodded. "It helps me sleep." "We could all use some sleep," Aaron said. He handed Scylla a warm drink. "It's not tea, but it helps." Scylla took the cup and nodded. "Thank you." The three of them shared a quiet moment. There was no sound but the soft hum of the engine. Later, Aaron sat in the engine room, checking a power line. Sparks jumped when he touched the wire. "Damn," he whispered. SYLA appeared at the door. "Need help?" "Yeah," Aaron said. "Hold this." "Don't. Touch the end. Just keep it steady." Scylla did as he asked. Her hands were strong but careful. "You learn fast," Aaron said. "I had to. Back home, no one helped me. I had to fix things on my own." Aaron looked at her. "You did a good job keeping Lyra safe. That wasn't easy." Scylla looked down. "She gave him strength. Without her, I would have given up." Aaron nodded. "Sometimes we need someone to keep going for." A sudden beep came from the control room. Aaron stood up fast. "That's not good," he said. "Something's close." They ran to the controls. On the screen was a red dot. Another ship was nearby. "Is it the hunters again?" Scylla asked. Aaron stared at the signal. "No, it's a scavenger. Not military, but still dangerous. What do we do?" "We hide. There's a rocky moon nearby. If we land and turn off the systems, maybe they won't find us." Aaron changed course. The ship moved fast toward the moon. It was covered in sharp rocks and deep cracks. They landed behind a large ridge. Aaron shut down the lights and lowered the heat. The ship became quite cold. Lyra shivered. Scylla wrapped her in a blanket. They waited in the dark. Minutes felt like hours. The scavenger ship passed above them, close but not close enough. Then it turned away. Aaron let out a breath. "We're safe, for now." The ship stayed powered down for a while. It was cold and quiet. Scylla looked at Aaron. "You keep risking yourself for us." "Why?" Aaron shrugged. "Because someone has to." "And because I want to." Scylla reached into her coat and pulled out a small glowing pendant. It was shaped like a leaf, and it glowed with soft blue light. "This was given to me when I became a protector. It means loyalty and honor. I want you to have it." Aaron looked at the pendant. "I can't take that. It's yours." "No," she said. "It means something only when given. I give it to you." Aaron took the pendant slowly. It was warm in his hand. "Thank you," he said. Lyra smiled. "Now you're one of us." The ship powered back on. Systems restarted. They left the moon and moved forward. That night, Aaron told them stories. He talked about Earth, about rivers and forests, about animals that ran wild. Lyra listened with wide eyes. Scylla asked quiet questions. "Do your people fight often?" "Sometimes," Aaron said, "but most want peace. Most want to build, not destroy." "Then maybe we can belong," Scylla said. "You already do," Aaron replied. Scylla looked at him. Her eyes were softer now, less guarded. "You don't see us as different." "No," Aaron said. "I see a mother and daughter trying to survive." "That's something I understand." Scylla smiled. "Just a little." The ship kept moving. The stars ahead were bright, and behind them, the darkness faded just a bit more. The ship floated through the last stretch of space before reaching the human outpost. Aaron checked the navigation screen. They were only 1 day away from the nearest human station. He felt both relief and worry. Scylla stood beside him, arms crossed. "You said the station has laws for refugees. But what if they don't let us stay?" Aaron looked at her. "We'll find a way. I'll speak for you. You're not just anyone. You're survivors." Scylla didn't answer. She turned her eyes to the stars dot in the back room. Lyra played with a small cube Aaron had given her. It glowed and shifted shape. She giggled and smiled. "This thing is fun." "It's called a puzzle box," Aaron told her. Keeps the mind sharp. I want to take it with me. To Earth. Aaron nodded. It's yours. He looked at Sella. She was watching silently. Later that day, a message came through. It was from the station. A voice crackled through the speaker. Unidentified vessel. State your name, purpose, and passenger list. Aaron answered. This is the repair ship Aurora. Pilot Aaron Blake. On board are 2 alien civilians rescued during a distress call. Requesting emergency shelter and refugee processing. There was a pause. Then the voice returned, docking aloud. Identity of aliens must be confirmed. All passengers will be scanned. Scylla tensed. If they scan me, they'll see everything. Pass. My name. Aaron thought quickly. We'll give them new names. Use the pendant ID I added. You're Sella of the Villa Moons. Lyra is your daughter. I'll file you as refugees from a trade collapse. That's dangerous, she said. I know, Aaron said. But if we don't, they might send you back. They prepared the ship. Sella cleaned Lyra's clothes and brushed her hair. Aaron adjusted the IDs and deleted all old records. The pendant Sela gave him was now marked in the system as a symbol of peaceful passage. They approached the station. It was huge, full of blinking lights and docking arms. Ships flew in and out. It looked like a giant metal flower in space. Stay calm, Aaron told them. Let me do the talking. The ship docked. Guards waited outside. Aaron stepped out first, hands raised. I'm Aaron Blake. These 2 are with me. They need help. The guard scanned his ID, then looked at Sela and Lyra. Alien. Origin confirmed. Scans match unknown refugees. Clearance granted. Sela let out a small breath. Lyra held her mother's hand tightly. They were taken to a small room. A woman in a blue suit entered with a tablet. You'll be asked questions. Where you came from, what you need, and where you plan to go. Aaron stood beside Sela. They plan to stay with me. I have room, the woman frowned. You know what that means, Mr. Blake. You take full responsibility. I do, he said without pause. Sela looked at him, her eyes wide. Why? You barely know us. I know enough, Aaron said. The woman nodded. Very well. You'll be clear for surface travel tomorrow. That night, they stayed in the guest room. It was small but warm. Lyra slept on a soft bed for the first time in many days. Sela sat beside Aaron. You risked everything. Why? Because I believe in second chances, Aaron said. We can't pay you back. I'm not asking for that. Just stay safe. That's enough for me. Sela looked at him for a long moment. In my culture, when someone saves your life, you become part of their family. You are now part of ours, Aaron smiled. Then I'll try to be a good brother, or uncle, or whatever I need to be. Sela gave a small laugh. It was the first time he heard her laugh. You may need to be all those things. They sat in silence. It was peaceful. The next day, they prepared to leave the station. A transport ship would take them to Earth. Lyra held Aaron's hand. Are you coming with us? Of course, he said. I promise to protect you, and I keep my promises. They boarded the ship. Through the window, Earth looked bright and blue. Scylla sat beside Aaron. Do you think we can make a life there? Aaron nodded. I think we already have a start. As the ship moved toward Earth, Scylla placed her hand over his. Thank you for everything. He smiled. We're just getting started. And for the first time since her world fell, Scylla believed him. The ship landed on Earth in the early morning. The sky was soft with clouds, and a cool breeze moved through the air. Scylla stepped out first, holding Lyra's hand. Aaron followed close behind, carrying a small bag of supplies. They were on the hollowed edge of a desert, near a small town with wide streets and quiet buildings. Aaron had chosen this place because it was far from busy cities. It was simple and peaceful. A local officer greeted them. Mr. Blake, you're the sponsor for these new arrivals? Aaron nodded. Yes, they'll be living with me. The officer scanned their papers, checked the ID chip, and smiled. Everything looks good. Welcome to Earth. Sella looked around. The sky was big, the sun bright, and the land open. It was nothing like the city she once knew. But it felt safe. They moved into a small house on the edge of town. It had 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a wide yard filled with dry grass and rocks. Inside, it smelled of wood and old books. Lyra ran from room to room. This is our house? Really? Aaron laughed. Yes, really. It's not much, but it's home. Silas stood in the kitchen, touching the table, the walls, the window frame. It's warm, she said softly. I like it. They began a new life. Each day was slow, but full of small things. Aaron taught Lyra how to use earth tools. He showed Scylla how to grow plants in the garden. Scylla taught them words from her language. Lyra laughed more, played more, and started to sleep without fear. One morning, a woman from the local office visited. She wore a nice jacket and held a tablet. Mr. Blake, there's a problem with your refugee file. The system flagged a mismatch. Aaron stood still. What kind of mismatch? Your guest pass records were erased, which is unusual. We need to confirm their status with central records. Scylla stepped forward. If they search the old records, they'll know who I am. They may try to take me in Lyra. Aaron looked at the woman. Is there any way to stop the check? Only if the family is legally bonded to a citizen. That makes it a closed file. Scylla turned to Aaron. Her eyes were calm, steady. In my world, there is a law. If a protector takes in one who is lost and the bond is accepted, they become one family. Will your law accept that too? Aaron looked at her, surprised. Are you asking to be part of my family? Scylla nodded. Yes, for Lyra. And for us. Aaron turned to the woman. Is that enough? The woman raised her eyebrows. If both parties agree and sign the union paper, yes. That would protect the file. Aaron took a deep breath. Then let's do it. They signed the papers that afternoon. It was simple. A form, 2 signatures, and 1 witness. No rings, no ceremony. Just an agreement to share life and space. Lyra clapped. Does this mean we stay together forever? Aaron smiled. That's the idea. Weeks passed. The house grew fuller. Aaron built a small school space for Lyra. Sella helped him fix the roof. They laughed more now, talked more. Even in silence, there was comfort. One evening, they sat on the porch watching the sunset. The sky turned red and gold. You were alone. For a long time, Scylla said. So were you, Aaron replied. She reached for his hand. This time, she held it. Not anymore, she said. Aaron squeezed her hand gently. No, not anymore. Inside the house, Lyra placed her glowing puzzle box on a shelf beside other small treasures. She looked out the window and smiled. The stars would come soon. But tonight, they didn't feel so far away. In a small, quiet house on the edge of a desert, a new family sat together, safe and whole at last.